Hey everyone, it's MJ from Journey Through the Pages, and today I'll be wrapping up all the books that I read in April. So April was a pretty good reading month for me. I got through 7 books. I try and aim to get through 10 books every month, but at the moment it's not possible, especially with uni and work. But I'm hoping when I finish for the semester I'll be able to just blitz read a whole bunch of them. But I had a pretty good month. I read 7 books. Of various different lengths. 1 ebook, finished the series, continued another one, discovered a book I loved from my childhood, was a duology, although I really wish it had been a trilogy, and made friends with my local librarian, and participated in a read-along. So I've actually been pretty active this month, but without further ado, in no particular order, these are the books I read this month. The first book I'm going to tell you about was an ebook. It was The Marvelous Land of Oz by L. Frank Baum. It's number 2 in the Wizard of Oz series. I quite enjoy the Wizard of Oz, so I decided to keep reading the series. And the advantage with getting most of the series through ebook is that I can read it on my phone anytime I found I had like 5-10 minutes to spare. I found it very funny. It was quite witty, satirically like Wizard of Oz, but I felt it was almost written for a younger audience than Wizard of Oz, or maybe it's just I'm older when I'm reading it, so it seems like it's written for younger. But yeah, overall I liked it. It was pretty alright. Definitely Wizard of Oz is still my favourite. But I'm definitely going to continue with this series, so I'll let you know what I think of the other books. Next I have Sidekicks by Will Kostakis, which was the book I got in my April YA Chronicles? March YA Chronicles. It was actually a very interesting way that they told the story. So you had these 3 characters and you're hearing the story each from their point of views, and each of their stories started at the exact same place, but each character would take you further in along the story. So the first person was really just telling you the start of the story, the second was dealing their point of view from the start to the middle, and the others was the point of view right the way through where you got the conclusion. And yeah, I definitely liked that. There was definitely voices I preferred over the others, but I thought it was a very unique way to tell a story from different perspectives. I finally finished Allegiant, which finishes up the Divergent trilogy, and I did go see the movie, which I thought was interesting. Still prefer the book, like always. And yeah, I love this series. I actually really like the characters and the way they've written and the way they deal with pretty much your decisions and your choices and the consequences and what is justice, what is moral, how do we class each other, who has a right to do that. And I like that it deals with all these questions, and I love this series. It's one of my favourite series. Next I read 4, which is a combination of a couple of novellas. In case you haven't read the Divergent trilogy, the story is told from the main character Triss's point of view, but 4 is a character who's pretty much in it from very early on and is also would also be, if it was a movie, for anyone who hasn't read Divergent trilogy, you follow one person, Triss's point of view, throughout And one thing I liked, which I know isn't everyone's favourite thing, is the fact that you got from both 4 and Triss's point of view in this book, and the alternating chapters that you got from both 4 and Triss's point of view, which I think you kind of needed. In the environment that they're in, you're not going to be able to see everything from one person's point of view. In the environment and situation they've been thrust in, and being that it's all new to them, seeing from both points of view gave you a better rounded view of the world and what was happening around them. So, highly recommend this series. Next, I had 4, which is a bunch of novellas written from 4's point of view. So, in the Divergent trilogy, you mostly, until the last book, just see things from Triss's point of view. The last one, they alternate between 4 and Triss, and this is 4's story. So in this book, you have the transfer of the Initiate and the Sun, which follows 4 from where he used to be to where he is when Triss meets him in the Divergent books. And then you have the Traitor, which follows him a bit through the first book, and we get to see a few more things happening behind the scenes from his point of view. Also, start getting the way he's viewing Triss and what his thoughts and feelings on that. and then and then I think it's about 3, 4, and then at the end of the book, I think you have, it's 3. You have 3 scenes from the Verdant book, which Veronica Ross said didn't fit well in these novellas, but they were scenes she wrote from 4's point of view. So you get the first jumper, careful, Tris, and you look good, Tris. I really loved it. I felt, even though I love 4 as a character, and I think he is well developed through the books, even through Tris's eyes, even though we see most of that through Tris's eye, I think this gave you a depth and a bit more understanding of his character. And it was interesting to see some of the things that Tris was unaware of that was happening behind the scenes. So if you love the Divergent series and you've read it, I'd recommend you read this as well. Next, I read Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGuinness. And I read this as part of an April read-along that Trina, between the chapters, were doing. And she's actually done a 5 reasons why you should read this book, which I'll link down below. And yeah, it was very interesting. It's YA, dystopian, post-apocalyptic, new frontier type of book. So in the book, and they don't go into great detail of it, but they can't generate electricity anymore and they can't make clean water, so you need water to survive. Now, if you do have a source of water, it's not just enough to survive. You've got to defend it from others because people will come and take it from you. And something that I like that I felt was different than a lot of other YA dystopians is the fact that this book felt real. If we lost, for whatever reason, the ability to generate electricity, if we couldn't clean water, it really felt like this is one of the ways we would really deal with it. This is the frontier we'd be dealing with. These are the problems we're going to come across. These are decisions we're going to have to make. These are some of the outcomes that will happen. And it's just a really good book. I recommend you read it. If you don't believe me, click on Trina's video and listen to her 5 reasons for reading it. The Dancing Meteorite by Anne Mason. Now, this is a book I read in high school, and I was probably about 13 when I read it, and I actually did love it. And it's kind of a young adult, when I say young adult, it's young teenage fiction, but it's also sci-fi. It's following this young girl named Kira who lives on a space station because everyone lives in space. She has a unique ability, which is to communicate, learn languages, communicate with other species. And through a bunch of events and circumstances beyond her control, she's forced to work with a few people that she doesn't actually like very much. And it deals very well with what is a moral and right choice when you know your decision is going to hurt someone. And I thought they did this very well. Now, it is out of print, but if you do manage to get a copy somewhere, I do recommend you read it. And one of the things I love most when I was looking for this book is I found out it had a sequel. I have misplaced the dust jacket because I put it somewhere safe so I wouldn't ruin it while I read it. And so I will put a picture of what that looks like up on the screen. But this is The Stolen Law by Anne Mason, and it's a continuation of the book. It continues on a couple days, actually maybe a week after the Dancing Meteorite has finished, and it follows Kira as she has to go out and help these 2 alien races with a treaty that they're working on. And it actually delves more into what they call sector law. So because they live in this sector of space, all the races that live there provide people to be part of the governing body at the sector station, and it really delves into the law, the process the law is made, and some of the laws which are harder to live with than others. Where the first one delved into justice and morality a little bit, probably more on the side of choosing what's right and wrong. This goes in a lot deeper, with Kira having to make some very hard decisions in this book. And I thought it was a really good continuation of The Dancing Meteorite, where you see her develop as a character a lot more, and it deals with tough questions, but it does it in a very, for this universe to create a very realistic way, which I think could speak to a lot of young people. The only downside is I really felt, I know there's only these 2 books, but I really felt that it would have been awesome if we had a 3rd book after this, just because there was so many other questions I wanted answered and so many other places this could have gone. Now, I do normally do a least favourite, most favourite. if I had to pick a least favourite, it would definitely be The Marvellous Land of Oz. It was an alright book. It was easy to read. I just didn't overly enjoy it. But unfortunately, I can't pick a best favourite because I'd be trying to pick between Dirty Meteorite and Soul and Law, Not a Drop to Drink, and the Divergent series, and I loved all of them. But anyway, that's my wrap up. Let me know what you think of the books I've read. Let me know what you've been reading lately. And I will see you later. Bye.